Playing it safe has a cost. And today we're going to look at the invisible invoice that you keep paying because you avoid risk. So there is a risk of not taking risks. And this invoice is costing you the most because you pay with the things that you don't have, with the things that you don't acquire, with the relationships that you don't pursue, with the life that you don't live, with the wealth you don't acquire. So that invoice is measured in the things that you don't see, you don't have, and you can't experience. And it's costing you the most. So in this video, we're gonna break down why taking risks is the best thing that you can do in your life because it stretches you and it gets closer to the life you're meant to live. Why do you avoid them in the first place? Why can you simply take risks? Why you feel a big tug of war when you want to take risks? How to identify exactly what keeps you stuck, what keeps you avoiding risks. We're gonna map your comfort zone and how to find the exact steps, the necessary steps that will get you closer to the life you're meant to live. So we assume that taking risks is something painful and uncomfortable. But it's interesting that on the other side of it, you find the life that you always wanted to live because you go through those struggles. We call it struggles, but it shouldn't feel like struggle. So that assumption is wrong in the first place because you assume that if I take risks, it's something painful and uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. So you assume that taking risks is something painful, uncomfortable, that you should avoid, that, I don't feel like doing it because that invoice doesn't bring you anything in return. So you keep paying that bill, the bill that costs you the most in this life. So it's like paying a monthly insurance fee that doesn't keep you safe and doesn't get you anything in return. For example, when an accident happens, it doesn't keep you safe, it doesn't cover the costs. And when you open that invoice and you look at the bill, you see the life that you could live, the relationships you could have, the skills you could acquire, the friends you could have. So what's the reason you keep avoiding taking risks in life? The reason is because you think that it keeps you safe, but it does the exact opposite thing. It feels like protection, but it's a slow suffocation. It's a slow suffocation that you can't catch in the first place. So you think it keeps you safe because maybe in the past something happened, you took some risks and someone criticized you for that, or you didn't feel well and you said, never again, I won't do it never again. I don't want to do it anymore. So that assumption of you in that moment made you to believe till now that avoiding risks is not safe. So every day we keep having assumption regarding the life. And usually we assume that those negative things that happen, it's actually negative. They're bad things. And we assume that positive things, they are good, they are well, we should experience more of that. So that assumption, it's what makes you struggle. Not because the thing happened, that your assumption of that. Because if you do remember, you're the creator of this life. You decide how to live this life. You could make a thing that it's beautiful, or like you enjoy actually doing it, or you can do it like it's a big burden in your life. So who decides that? It's actually you who decides what to do in this life because God gave you free will. And we often forget that we control the things. But because you're so entrenched into this 3D world, you are so reactive that you don't get a chance to step back and look and stop making all these reactive assumptions. And because of that assumption makes you struggle because you keep clinging to the things and you say that that's bad, that's good, that's what happened, and I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to experience it anymore. So the first thing is to detach from the things, from the experiences that you have. Stop being so reactive to them because they will happen, but you control how you react to that. You can't control the 3D world. You can't control what will happen to you, but you can control your own mind and your own body. So the question now is why, if we do understand that taking risks is good, why do we keep paying that invoice, that bill? Why do we keep doing that if we understand that we're in control and we can change our lives and risks are good? So why do we do that? Because we think that paying that bill is safer than taking actions. and you do it automatic because you have a system that you're not aware of it, and it feels like protection. So deep in your mind, something thinks that avoiding the risks is safer than actually taking action. So we gotta change that. So I'll help you later in this video. So keep out with me, watch it till the end. We're gonna see exactly what keeps you. So I don't know what happened exactly in your life that you assume that doing that is bad, or taking those big leaps in your life is bad. But in that moment, your brain learned that. So don't blame your brain for that, because in that moment, because that reaction was the best response in that time, you have to be friends with your own body. If you are in a fight mode with your body, it will work against you. So you gotta learn to be friends with it. You should praise it every day, not blame it, because it will do the exact opposite thing. So how to find the exact reasons you keep avoiding risks? Write down 3 things that your brain knows you should take, but you keep avoiding them. So let's genuinely analyze. Sit down and write 3 things most important to you. For example, you could say, I stopped communicating, I stopped interacting with my friends when ... I felt anxious when I started to record a video. I feel I'm getting criticized when I express my opinion. They should be very detailed, not I'm afraid, I don't want to do that. Exactly. Write it down exactly. Now, after you have those 3 things, write down what are you specifically protecting. What would you lose if you took action on them? Like, think about the worst thing that could happen if you did actually take action. So now that you have those 3 things, write down the things that you protect from not taking action. So why you avoid? Why do you keep avoiding them? What would happen if you did take action? Like the worst case scenario. So write down next to them. Mention what's good about not taking action, because there is a payoff. There is a guilty payoff that you love experiencing because you don't take action. Now we have to look at the best scenario that would happen if you took action. What will you experience? What will you have? Who you're gonna be? Now that we have those things, we're gonna look at them and simply observe, simply analyze. In today's video, we're not gonna change them, but that first step of observing, of analyzing, of seeing them is one step closer for you to actually experience that change. In the next video, I'm gonna show you how to change them, but for now, we just analyze them, we just see. So with this exercise, we'll look exactly at what safety is costing you. Now write down 3 actionable steps that you can take from today that will change your situation. Next to those 3 things, mention other 3 actionable steps that you can take today. And set a timer for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, you are gonna take action on each of those things. Today is just a simple exercise, and you're gonna train your mind to see that when you take action, it's safe, and you give another information, you implement another pattern in your mind that will help you to change and see exactly that, look, I did that thing and it's safe. I can do it, and tomorrow. But there are some cases where you'll notice that, okay, you took action for a short period of time, but you can't keep up with them. You can pursue them for a long time. In that situation, it's very important to address the real cause in a very delicate way, get to the cause, and that cause you should release in a non-stress environment. In that case, I help people to dissolve that pattern completely. I help them to transform their life completely in a very safe way. It doesn't require you to go to psychiatrists, to try different therapies. It's a simple exercise you can do at home, and I guide people how to do it directly. If you want that help, you can write to me on my Instagram using the link below. If you have any questions regarding that, I'm down to answer to all of. Yeah, so thanks for watching this video. Hope it helped you to change your relationships with the risks and fall in love with that. Fall in love with taking risks. Because once you do it, you'll see how your life changes completely, because it changed for me, and I believe it can change for you.